We are indeed. We've got a bit of a surprise for you guys. And while you were with Hukumuri, we thought we'd just position ourselves in an area that if our surprise was to continue towards us, we would have got some great low-angle views of it. But it appears that it hasn't. It's taken another route. So we have to just work out what that route was, or is. Sure, we'll find it somewhere around one of these corners. If we don't, I'm going to feel like a real muppet. Oh, hold on, Dave. It's Hosana. And you wouldn't believe it, but he actually came, as we turned off onto the off-road tracks that led up to Tumba's kill, we found him, which means he was definitely in that area, and I'm almost tempted to rush back there and see what Tumba's up to, because if he is still there, which I'm guessing he will be, it'll be really interesting that Hosana gave in to him, because Hosana is a little bit bigger. Let me just reposition again now. He's trying to sneak his way down to the Vuyatela Dam here without being spotted by anything. There's not nearly as much game as there usually is down here, but there's one Inyala that he's spotted that he's trying to avoid. I really am frustrated that we missed out on whatever happened between him and Tumba, and I guess it proves my theory completely wrong. I was expecting there to be no action with Tumba, yet completely the opposite was the case. Because that would have been some fascinating interactions to be able to capture and witness and share with you. Let's move again. Ah, Jersey lady, you doing your happy dance. That's wonderful to hear. I wonder if Tumba wasn't actually not there and possibly off having a drink somewhere. Now this leopard's checking very carefully to make sure there's not a leopard here having a drink. Anything is possible. I'm just assuming that Tumba was in fact on site. I think what he's looking at, and you can see is very intent, is some Inyala bulls that are behind us. Darby's just going to attempt to swivel all the way around and show them to you. There's two different sets. There's the one over there, and then two further off to the right of him. And that is who young Hosana is keeping a close eye on. Well done, Dave. There's the other two there. What was that? Three there. Yeah, three there. So he obviously doesn't want to be seen by them, because they'll start barking. They've got a dog-like bark. And he doesn't want to give away his position. He looks fairly hungry, so I'm guessing that's why he's trying to be extra cautious. Hello, boy. Yes, Uniki certainly is a beautiful and regal cat. Both him and Tumba are fine specimens, and you tend to find with leopards, the young males are very, very appealing to the eye, and as a general, often as they become older, it's possibly less so. They become a little bit banged up and bruised and scarred and battered. But between him and Tumba, there are two exquisite young male leopards. This guy's slightly older than Tumba, I'm told, and his eyes are quite a different color. Tumba's got more of a greenish hue to its eye than old Hosana. Wes, you said he looks rather sad, and I guess, yes, he probably is a little bit sad and disgruntled because he knows there's another leopard around the corner that's still snacking on some kudu while he's got nothing. Are you really attempting to stalk from here? Surely, buddy. Get with the program. What have you seen? Have you seen something closer by? Because that Inyala is about 150 meters away. Not even a cheetah would attempt to stalk it. Are you going to go under our car? I think he might. He's gone under the back corner. I'll try and get a picture quickly of his tail to show you guys. Quick, Scott. Quickly. Oh, I missed it. But he should be popping out literally underneath Dave at the moment. I can't believe you're in full stalk mode, because whatever you are trying to catch is miles away. And I'm told the bushwalker busy spying on us. I'm not too sure where from. There must be something closer by in the grass. What have you seen? Oh, it's the Egyptian geese. On that mound there, Davy. Uh-oh, they've spotted him already. They're already starting their alarm call. Huh, did you see something there? And that was pathetic, Hosana. What was that? What was that? What were you attempting to jump on there? Okay, very good. Well, why don't you guys see exactly where Steve is sniping us from?
Thanks, Scotty. How special is that? Not sure what he tried to catch there. It looked like a blacksmith lapwing. So we went back into the block and we found the tracks of Hosana coming north directly towards Vuyatela Dam, where I'd originally thought he might come because he'd want to drink. Rexon joined us much earlier in the drive. Him and his tracker drove around the block and assured us that he hadn't crossed the road. That's why we stayed in that block. But on tracking him out, we found very clear evidence of where he tracked across here. And now old Scotty's found him before us. So terrible as it is, Scott has found him, but we have been on his trail for some time, the last 15 to 20 minutes, which has been super, super cool. And wasn't that marvelous? Okay, well, Scott's obviously got a much better look at him, so let's go to him and see if he's having a drink.
Welcome back, everyone. And just want to make sure that Taylor knows that the Nkuhuma Pride are on the property, because Hukumuri is now crossed out of our turf. So maybe she can race across there, and she does know about that, so that's the good news. So she's going to head off and see if she can't find the lions, and we're going to stay here, and I'm just going to keep quiet for a second. We'll actually be able to hear him lapping up the water. Thirsty boy. Look, Dawi's trying to remain undetected. Sadly, those geese saw him coming from a long way off. They're moving just over there in the grass. Tricky to see, but there they are. And wouldn't that be cool, watching him try and catch a goose? It does happen from time to time, but they do get lucky with the birds. Something I've never actually seen happen, but it's something that I would love to see. Jersey lady, you say it's good to see him on the dam cam. It's probably been a while. He usually kind of stays further south than here. And this is, yeah, definitely the closest I've seen him to camp since I've been here for the last 3 or 4 months. He's generally kind of hung along our more southern boundary. And he would have have spent a lot of time here growing up, I'm sure. Lots of you will have lots of happy memories. Paula, you'd like to know if Hosana is the most social of all the leopards. I wouldn't be able to answer that question. I haven't spent enough time with him interacting with other leopards, and I don't think, I mean, he has spent a lot of time with his father, but whether that's because his father tolerates him or, I mean, it's just a tricky question for me to answer, and I think, to be honest, for anyone to answer, because none of us spend enough time knowing exactly what goes on with these animals when they are most active after dark. So there'll be too many missing pieces of information for anyone to categorically say who the most social is, in my opinion. And again, a lot of the time it's probably more through default than anything else that he will come across other leopards, or other leopards will come across him. Liz, you say the tip of its tail seems like it has a mind of its own, and yes, it does. Twitching from side to side. I love watching the tips of their tail moving about. Oh, he's evidently not finished with these Egyptian geese yet, and he's trying his best to sneak closer to them. How cool is this? Okay, well, you're going to have to get a lot closer than that, buddy. But maybe you just want to lay an ambush from here. Maybe that's the plan. So yeah, we just wanted to go and try and see what in fact was going on there. It would have been very interesting had we have still found Tumba there with some remains. It would have indicated that obviously he can stand up for himself against Hosana, even though Hosana is a little bit bigger and older than him. And Hosana's still snoozing here in the long grass, still looking very, very intently at the Egyptian geese. Those seem to be high up on his menu. This camouflage is incredible, and it's only once we get a bit tighter in that you can actually see him. And I'm guessing he's waiting for cover of darkness, and then he's going to try and launch a few attacks, although there's never really cover of darkness here because there's quite a few big lights that illuminate this area. So you'll be best off somewhere else if that's what he's hoping for. But for now, just taking a breather. He's been moving around a fair deal, it appears, this afternoon from when he was seen before drive on quarantine. Who knows what route he took to get to where we saw him at Tumba's Kill. He seems to have had a fairly busy time. How incredible was that sunset? Shoo-wee! Absolutely magical. One of the best we've seen in a while. So happy that Taylor stopped and managed to show you that in all its glory. Oh, very good. Well, it seems like... Welcome back, everybody. We are still sitting and waiting patiently here with young Hosana. We've got our infrared lights on. It's getting a bit dark now, and we really are hoping that he's going to take us on a little bit of an infrared adventure where we can spy on him using no lights that are visible to our eyes or any other animal's eyes, really. And some exciting stuff happened. I'm not sure if Taylor's filled you in, but the Nkuhuma pride sadly crossed into our property, crossed out of our property, and then chased a pack of wild dogs off their kill. That would have been nice to see. But happy that the Nkuhuma pride have got a little bonus meal. And happy to hear that all the wild dogs escaped unscathed, being the most successful predator that roams these plains. Well, not really plains, this wilderness. they'll be able to make a kill relatively easily. I'm not too sure exactly the finer details of how much of the kill the lions managed to get and what exactly it was. I'm guessing it was probably an impala and probably not much remaining, because wild dogs eat incredibly fast. So the lions probably only got a bit of a snack. And who knows, maybe they'll decide to come back onto Djuma after their pilfered meal. And maybe they'll be around for us in the morning. We've been spoiled rotten though recently. Lots of big cats around. Especially leopards. I mean, it's ridiculous. What are you hearing, Hosana? Oh, it was the geese flying away. That's what he's watching. There goes your dinner, buddy. You're going to have to make a plan B. But yeah, we've been seeing so many different male leopards. Hukumuri, Tamba, Hosana, Djuma last night. It was just Tingana, the old guy who we used to see more than anyone, missing off the list. But I mean, we could, in theory, if we see Tingana tomorrow, we would have seen 5 males within the space of 36 hours, which would be absolutely fascinating. And it'll be nice to add Tundi and her cub to the list as well, even though they're not males. Not as nearly as many females moving around as there are males, but we'll take whatever we can get for the time being. Mina, you would like to know, why do leopards wag their tails? Well, to be honest, I've never really seen a leopard wag their tail like a dog, just to not confuse anyone. They kind of, I would like to say, rather twitch their tail, and it's just the tip, really, that twitches ever so slightly from side to side. He's looking at another goose that just flew over. Yeah, I mean, it's an emotional indicator when they're excited or thinking about things. I haven't, been able to work out any exact correlations as to when they twitch their tail, but it's some form of indicator of their emotions, their excitement, their thought processes. Sometimes they'll hold their tail up high, kind of arching it towards their head when they've been spotted by animals, almost as like, okay guys, you've got me, I've put my hands up, I come in peace, just leave me to walk through your area, I'm not trying to creep up on anyone, you can see me holding my tail up, I don't mean anything nasty. So sometimes they do that. He really is tuned in this evening, whipping his head around when he hears something that excites him. Christina, you'd like to know if the leopards feel the change that's going on with the males. And yes, they will certainly be 100% clued in to what's going on with the males. And if they're not, well, they are not clever. Because it's very important that females know what's going on with the males that roam their territory. Mainly because they're a massive threat to any cubs that they may have. But even possibly to themselves as adults. If they try and defend a cub, a rogue male could kill them. Ooh, a nightjar just flew past him. I'm not sure if you saw a little blur go through the screen there. So yeah, I think the females definitely know what's going on. Again, sadly, I think we miss so much of what actually happens here after dark. And even during the day. There's just a lot of stuff that happens here where we are not around to document it or to be able to learn from and understand what behavior is going on and how much the leopards do understand. And I mean, that's just us being there to see things. Then, of course, there's the fact that it's difficult for us to try and comprehend. When we heard Djuma calling last night, was Tundi nearby? Could she hear it was him? Did she know it was him? Was she comfortable with the fact that it's him? Because he's been marching along that same cut line for many years now, so that's kind of stable and not a threat to her. Whereas the Hukumuri male, who was in all likelihood the male that was vocalizing in and around the dam cam last night, what does she think when she hears his vocalization? Did she come closer? Did she run away? There's just so much it would be very difficult for us to just kind of guess, what's going on and how much they know about what's happening. So, yeah, that's why I prefer to, rather than hypothesizing, rather try and kind of wait and just see what happens as and when we get lucky and see an interesting kind of event happen. It's kind of like saying, what would happen if you put Bob and Susie on Mars together? It depends on Bob. Yeah. What Bob and Susie's moods are, who Bob and Susie are, whether they're compatible, and you get lots of different Bobs and Susies on the planet, so. That's my take on that. Okay, how much time we got left? 20 minutes. Come on, boy, take us for a stroll. We can have another 5 minutes snoozing, and then we expect some action from you. Very good. We're going to send you across to Taylor to see what she's getting up to. I want to get up ahead of him. He's just off to our right. Let's see what happens here. Well, we got lucky and we didn't have to wait too long for him to decide to get up and take us on a stroll. Let's see where he heads from here. He was directly off to our right, so I'm guessing he's going to continue up towards us. No immediate sign of him. Where are you hiding, young Hosana? I want to try and not use the spotlight if I don't need to, so we'll just give it a moment or two. Just be patient for a second. Cool Breeze, you wondering if we would continue watching Hosana after the safari ends this evening? Probably not. I'm feeling a little bit sick at the moment, so I'm going to go home and rest. And it's usually kind of, if the lions are around or if there's a leopard with a kill, we may go out after drive to show some of the staff a bit of a good time and get them out and about. Otherwise they'll go crazy, staying in camp all the time. And I don't think we will come out this evening, although we might. Another reason why, if he's on the move and doing his thing, we don't use the work vehicles, these vehicles that we're on for our kind of staff joyrides. Let me just move forward a bit and try to work out where he's gone. We keep them for business only. What on earth is the spotlight? And without infrared lighting, it can be quite intrusive to follow an animal after dark, even though it's done quite wildly around Africa. The fact that I've been spoilt and got to see how effective it is to follow animals using infrared lighting, I am inclined to try and only do that, if at all possible. I was just hiding behind the damn wall. It was just a little bit tucked away the whole time we were sitting there. But we'll see him now. What are you sniffing about there? The other catch is this area that we're in, Cool Breeze, is right in front of one of the camps. So kind of anything beyond 7:30 in the evening is a kind of a no-go to be driving around in front of the guests who are trying to enjoy the peace and tranquility of the African wilderness. So that would also make it a little bit tricky with the spot that he's in for the time being. I wonder what he can smell there. Possibly some poop of an antelope. Leopards do like to eat antelope poop. Veronica, you'd like to know what the leopards do at night. Do they hunt or sleep? Well, you'll probably find they do a combination of the two. They sleep for a lot of time every day, 16 to 20 hours, which means, of course, there's only 4 to 8 hours of movement, which means there's lots of sleep, mainly during the day, but also at night. So I guess just like anyone who has domestic cats, you know full well that your cats sleep during the day and the night, but there's an increased likelihood of them being active after dark. They like the cover of darkness. Here in Africa, they like the cool weather as well. It's Hosana. No sign of Tamba at the kill, and Hosana made his way south along that 2 track when we found him. Sorry guys, I'm just updating one of the safari vehicles as to what's going on. He's just stationary at the waterhole between the two, the smaller pumped one and the bigger one at Vuyatela. Yes, Stevie, thanks for confirming that you agree that some rest will be useful for me and my recovery as I try and shake off this weird little flu cold thingy that I've got. It's nothing serious. Copy that. You're welcome to join me out. Alrighty, sorry guys, there's just a few people who are making their way into the sighting, so I just can't leave them hanging when they talk to me on the radio. And speaking of things hanging about, it sounds like Taylor has found you guys an interesting specimen. Well, he's kind of just slinking around this waterhole, and he actually, I don't know if he just kind of ran after a frog or if a bat caught his attention, but he kind of just had a hop, a skip and a pounce, but not too sure what he was hoping to latch onto. Seems like he's just checking the perimeter of this waterhole. We might get a little bit of a blowout there as he comes too close to us, but Dave's too slick on the camera for that to happen. Because we just have to wait for him to pop out. There he is. He's just popped out onto the other side, sniffing around very, very intently. Well done to Taylor for finding that little chameleon. Really, really cool seeing them. It's times like this that I'd really, really love to know exactly what's happening. What senses or what smells are they picking up? What are they thinking? What is exciting them here? Hard to be certain. Clearly, it is something. There's the old phlegm and grimace, which is allowing him to better process those smells from a special organ in the upper lip. Let's see if he has another pull and reprocess. CJ, you saying that you've noticed Hosana's putting on some weight, and yes, he certainly is. He's growing up to be an impressive young male already, and I'm looking forward to following his future and seeing how big and strong he ends up. Let's hope it's not too far from here. Let's hope he doesn't do a hukumuri and head all the way 100 kilometers away to the Crocodile Bridge. Excuse me. That's where the hukumuri male came from. Now it looks like whatever the smell is that's exciting him is very, very close to our vehicle. Let's see if it doesn't bring him even closer. Maybe it's from Tundi last night, maybe it's from Tamba being in the area, maybe it's from some possible prey. Having a good old sniff about. Sadly, in this long grass, it's just very difficult to tell or see exactly what he is doing. Veronica, you have got a little bit confused. You would like to know, is Hosana, where does he kind of fit in, and where's Tingana? Who's Tingana? Basically, how it works is Tingana is the old dominant male of Djuma, and he kind of came in and established himself about 3 years ago. And more recently, he's got some competition from another male called the Hukumuri male. So those are the two older males that are vying for dominance. And then we've got this youngster, who's 2 years old, just over 2 years old, called Hosana, as well as another youngster who's around, just younger than this guy, called Tamba. So it's 4 males really that we see here. Having said that, we did see another one who's kind of, his territory spans to the north from our northern boundary. His name is Djuma. But yeah, when there's lots of leopards around, it can be a little bit confusing, but don't worry, Veronica. A few more safaris and you'll be in full swing. I wonder if he's going to jump up into this bush. I've got a feeling he might. Sometimes they kind of like to really rub up against certain bushes, and this looks like one that he might try and do just that. Come on, buddy. Show us the vertical. No. Kathy, yes, if we did have lion poop on our tires, he would certainly react. He would be a little bit cautious. What was that? I just heard some noise. Was it him just kind of bounding through the bushes there? Dave's done incredibly well to keep up with him there. And we do have some other guests enjoying the sighting with us, and they can't see a thing because we're viewing in infrared. But they've been very sporting and not been using their flashlight. But I'm feeling quite bad because, of course, they can't see anything. It's just us that can see. It is the way of the future, though. Every vehicle should be kitted with infrared as technology becomes more affordable, because it is definitely the least impact and best way to go about viewing animals after dark. Where has he slunk off to? Let's see if we can reposition. Oh no, he's about to pop up into view. He's heading away from us there. Well done, Dave. What are your plans, young Hosana? Are you going to go back and check out Tamba's kill site? Search for a few scraps there? I wonder. Okay, now when they disappear, without the assistance from their infrared light, we're going to battle to see anything. So I'm kind of torn as to what to do now for the last 2 minutes. Any suggestions? Let's just spy on him from here with the spotlight. Very good. I wonder what's getting his attention in there. Definitely something. It appears to be hiding underneath this fallen down tree. Whee! Excusing everyone. Blessings. Probably gave some of you guys a heart attack. Apologies for that. Well, very good everyone. And I hope you've all enjoyed the sunset. Sorry, a bug just flew into my mouth. The sunset safari. We've loved having you guys on board, and as always, all your comments and contributions have made the safari an absolute joy. So thanks so much, and thanks to the team in the final control room here, slaving away behind closed walls and doors, as well as our tech team. Make sure you tune in to the Sunrise Safari. Who knows what kind of crazy action might be unfolding.